Well, good morning, folks. We are here another Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Um, does anybody know what day it is anymore? I don't know.
I think so, apart from us.
I do. I'm getting good at this. I'm starting to relax on Fridays now. Let's switch down so it's all good. But yes, welcome, welcome. Today we're going to have a chat about online marketing. And Karen is my online marketing Wonder Woman. There are some people that are very good with tech. I am not one of them. So I always ask Karen, and I find Karen's way of explaining things are so calm and relaxing that the fact that I can get it is wonderful. But I know you've been really busy as during this downtime for a lot of people. I'm sure people have been looking at their businesses and seeing what they can improve upon and also what opportunities there are. So Karen, I'd love to ask you, like, what have you been finding are like the top things that people are recognizing or that you could recommend that people are doing or that they should be thinking about right now?
Well, I think, one thing that's happened during lockdown is people who were doing everything offline had no way of connecting with their audience online and had to quickly adapt. And one of the great sayings someone emailed to me was, instead of bricks and mortar, make sure that your business is clicks and mortar, which I thought was really, really clever. So making sure that as well as having your offline presence, you also have some sort of online presence that you can, you can sell online and still be able to do things virtually. So in other words, having, some sort of payment option on or a shop on your website. You can do a shop through Facebook as well. So there's various different ways you could do that. Also for booking events, anything like that, you could use Eventbrite, or again, you could use some sort of event plugin or software on your website.
And it's less expensive now, isn't it? If you think about it, back in the day when you were creating websites, it was going to be so expensive to have some sort of purchase functionality, whereas like you say, all of these sort of plugins and tools now means that will mean that you can actually trade online a little bit easier. Have you found that people are aware of that, or if there are new things that you would recommend? Like, what would be the best one would you say on your website, or perhaps to use something like Facebook Shop, or
Well, I would always say on your website, because then it's all under kind of your own brand and you can control that. But quite often there's ways of doing both, so you can capture both audiences. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can get done really quickly and free. WooCommerce is one I use with WordPress, but you can also there's lots of plugins like PayPal plugins, or you can just go into PayPal, get a button and pop the code in on your website, as simple as that. So there's so many different levels. Obviously building a shop on your site is a lot more work. So there's more investment in that, but then there's more flexibility of what you can do. So I would just say to people, there are lots of different options, and there's a sliding scale from spending a small amount to, as much as you want, really. One of the other things I think lockdown's taught us is just, if you're only relying on one source of income, then it can be really difficult. Suddenly that income source is gone. So I would recommend people look at really diversifying their services and products. And one way, for example, if you run a business which is in person, maybe like you're a body worker or something like that, you might be an osteopath or a back specialist or yoga people. We've seen a lot of those going online, taken virtually, but some of them it's really hard to do that. So if they were collaborating with other businesses that perhaps sell to other complementary services or products, could be maybe sort of massage oils and creams and things like that, then that could still continue if they weren't allowed to do their actual in-person work. So it's just kind of thinking outside the box, thinking what are the other businesses that you could be working with to try and diversify your services and products.
I've seen some great things like from photographers, but obviously they need to sort of be very varied, but sort of even guides as to how to. One of my colleagues, Tina Cleary, photography, she actually came up with a brilliant package, because she usually does baby photography. So when, you know, the baby's back at home, taking those really precious moments, and actually she's been training or sort of guiding parents, I should say, how to position their baby to take photos themselves during lockdown. So
Okay.
it's a really good package. But yeah, it has, I think as well, by diversifying, you're also some of those passive income streams. I think you're absolutely right. You're getting more passive income streams as well. Like there might be products as well that you were mentioning that again could be on the clicks and mortar site as part of the business. So maybe guides or books or things like that that you could be creating and selling on your website.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and one of the one of the other things is looking at different types of content. So creating content, I think during this time, using that the time to create content like this, doing live shows, doing videos, doing podcasts, creating blogs. And if you're stuck for ideas, you can always ask your clients. You can speak to your clients, see what they would like to see, or just think about all the questions that they would be asking you, and go, well, actually, I can build content around that, the things that will answer those people's questions. So I think it's a good time as well now, when people are so busy sort of focusing maybe on home stuff and well-being and being with kids and doing other things, that you can be practicing and getting the time in to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know about you, but it's been such, some people are just really busy behind the scenes, as in, like I've been really busy working, you've been really busy working. But I love that idea because I've noticed, I actually shared your how to use Zoom into your Facebook live stream. I shared it to a colleague of mine and I was like, Karen's already done it. Sent her the
Okay.
asking. And I said, no, it was brilliant. And I'm sure there's a lot of Q&As. I've ended up doing training session. I did one yesterday, funny enough, and that's given me ideas, like feedback, like through online. I've been doing online training for a couple of years now, but yeah, again, the particular questions that I'm hearing is guiding me to what content I'm creating going forward. So absolutely, you're right there. And what else? What other gems have you got for us?
Well, one of the other things, I suppose, is you can start building an email list, so you can keep in touch with people via email. So, maybe providing a great free offer and some valuable content to get people to sign up. Just one of the things, though, I would say is just be very clear about how often you're going to email people and what sort of content they're going to get. Because I think I've unsubscribed from so many because I'm getting about 3 a week. And it's just too much. I just can't, I haven't got the time to read it. So, and maybe some people do, if it's, it's quite short to the point, or it's something that they really want to get. So I think that's really key to, make sure that you're very clear about that. And yeah, I think one of the last points I want to make was probably using this time as well. If you're not back into work yet, is using this time to get all those things done that you've been putting off and that you haven't had the time to do, whether that's updating your website, whether that's looking at your different social media channels and creating content for that, or sorting out what your plan going forward, what you're going to be posting, and also looking at lots of different courses online. There's a lot of courses now going free. There's a lot of free stuff around upskill. And see what you can learn now, so you can get ready for the time when you are back to business and getting busy, because then you want to focus on your client work. So you want to try and get all of these things in place, and also have a look at apps and tools and apps as well. So ways that you can automate things, get all those systems and processes set up in your business, so that when you do go back to being busy, all of that will just kind of work like clockwork in the background.
It takes a little while. I mean, I know just from us doing this and getting into a system and getting into some sort of routine, we're on week 8 now, can you believe? And I'm still not feeling that I'm there. And I love the fact that, you know, I've been seeing lots more content. Everyone else is saying, oh, it's rough and ready. But what I love about it, it's almost unapologetic in the sense that, well, we're still figuring it out. And considering that week 8 and we're both in comms, and we're still learning new things and we're still trying to improve, it does take a while. So you're absolutely right. I think just by I'm playing around with the Creator Studio at the moment and trying to learn more about that, so I can, you know, for the speed aspect, because I know that once I start getting busier, I don't even want to have to think about it, at least understand how to streamline that time. So yeah, absolutely, some great tips there. Absolutely. If you've got any apps that you can recommend, because you are a gem, the amount of things that I learn from you. So if you've got any apps that you can recommend, let us know, and just let us, you know, just tell us what good ones are out there, because I know that we've had so many conversations ourselves trying to figure out what's the best platform to use, what's, you know, the most efficient tool, and there's so many out there, isn't there? So yeah, absolutely, would love to hear your feedback on that, if you've got any comments.
Yeah, I think some of the, well, a couple of the ones I use, LastPass is one I use as like a password vault. That just saves me heaps of time and not having to remember the logins for various different sites. Another one, Slack, I use a lot with clients and with associates, because it just means it cuts down the email and you've got everything in one place, and you can, you know, you can just share notes in there, you can share images, you can share documents, all sorts of stuff in there. So and create different channels for different things. So that's really useful. There's lots of project management tools, again, lots of free ones, so Asana, Trello.
We used Asana on my website, didn't we? I loved it.
What's that? Sorry?
We used Asana when we were redoing my website.
Yeah.
Again, it's just saved emails going back and forth, and it just meant that, you know, we could just quickly update each other, tick off the action points. Really enjoyed it. And you're you quite like Trello as well. Do you find that's...
I used it before, yeah, it was all right, but yeah, again, I've always kind of gone back to Slack, even though it's not a project management tool as such. I've just found that it's always worked a lot easier than the others. So yeah, I'm always kind of sort of open to ideas of different ones that people are using to try out. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some of the other tools. I'll have to think about it though, and yeah, I'd sort of share some of my favorite ones and put them in the comments. And yeah, and by all means, anyone watching as well, yeah, do add your suggested tools as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I also find that I'd love to pick your brains as well. Maybe we'll have to do a separate chat on that. But talking about email lists, I keep on saying to clients, like, your email list is gold, because everything else is rented platforms. You know, all of these other social media channels, all your followers, if you can get them to your email list, then you have that as your sales base, so that if anything went wrong with those channels, God forbid, at least you've got a way of communicating directly with them. So perhaps that might be a session. If there's anything you want to ask Karen, like, by all means, just pop it into the comments, because again, this woman is my wealth of knowledge. It saves me so much time, me trying to research it, and because she literally knows the nuts and bolts of it all and how it actually works behind the scenes. And what's easier? Someone like me to pick up if I had to go in. Amazing. Yeah, thanks so much for those insights, really enjoyed that. But yeah, just let us know if you have any questions, or if you have any comments and feedback. I can't see anything on there, and I know that a lot of people I've been speaking to don't get to watch mine live, but I don't know if you can see anyone on yours. But yeah, we'll be back in next Wednesday.
Yep, next Wednesday at 10.
Sort of giving you up now, because as things are starting to we're talking about things opening up and actually things are moving, like how we can get you from A to B smoothly and not try and overwhelm you. So yeah, thank you.
Take
care. See you next week.